You had your chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from West St. Paul Studios, it's time for MinneZona Sports Live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vogt.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live. We are back. Yes, episode 132 episodes of MinneZona Sports Live. It's hard to believe, but without further ado, I'm your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callie, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., 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 and all the way from snowy Woods and Shores Studios in Aiken, Minnesota, Paul Vogt, Shield. What's going on there, Shield?
Snow is a bit of an understatement. It is cold,
enough, yeah.
It is windy, it is snowy, it is winter, it is Christmas, it is everything and anything listed from there above. And yes, it is definitely that time of year again. But hey, it's going to be a white Christmas at least.
It will, yeah. You got a good point there. It will be a white Christmas, and it's gonna be somewhat better on Christmas Eve. But you know, blizzard conditions. Yeah. What are you gonna do, right? So that's just how it is. But Voldy, before we get into it, you know, we always do this before we get going, and before we get into our main course for Tater Tot Hot Take, obviously. The pick'em going quite well
Quite.
Unfortunately, the Packer fan Ryan Coombe is still going strong.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I'm 4 behind, but I could catch up. But with that being said, Matt Johnson at 138, Jack Vickers at 136, Joe Service at 136. Hey, look, it's a Rick Jensen at 135, Molly Vold at 135, and Nick Dahlhoff at 135, and Zach Hundley at 135. So there you go, a lot of 135s, but it's going to be tough to catch Coombe now. I mean, week 16, so we are just delaying the inevitable. But
Weirder things have happened, man. Maybe he has no cell service the rest of the week and just can't make his picks.
yeah. Well, a lot of other things, things that we didn't see coming, like last year. I thought these certain guests were going to win Best Guest again.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So, without further ado, it's time to get to our part 3 with our good, great friends, Double Trouble. We love Double Trouble. Part 3 is pretty, I gotta say, it's pretty damn good. I mean, they're back. They're better than ever. They want the crown back. And we will be talking about that in our interview here with them. It was really, honestly, it was fantastic to talk to them. They're doing fantastic things, and there's some things that we caught up with them about. Obviously, Packers are not doing so well for Kristen, but Caitlin met Delvin Cook and things like that. So there's a lot of good things that we covered here. So without further ado, let's just play it. Let's get into it. Enjoy Double Trouble Part 3. All right, we're back on MinneZona Sports Live. You guys knew we were going to do this again. Yeah, everyone, every zoner knows this by now. Double Trouble is back.
We're back, baby.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
we love having you on. This is like a common thing for us, having you guys on. We get the female perspective, and we got a lot of stuff planned. So,
all right,
let's get it rolling. But
we're ready.
How you guys been? What have you guys been up to? Let's start with Caitlin. Go ahead.
I've been great. Not much is new except I got a little doggy, so he's been keeping me busy. He's currently eating some peanut butter right now to stay quiet. Yeah, I've just been adapting to dog mom life. But that's what's really new with me.
That's great. Great.
Yeah.
Kristen, what do you got?
Yeah, I moved.
Oh.
Yeah, I moved. I live in Lenox, Iowa now.
Oh.
I got a new job. I work for a management company out here, and yeah, it's been good.
Good. That's great to hear. And I remember last year when we had you guys on, we did our polls for best guest and whatnot. Obviously, someone else came out on top. But the thing is you guys were pretty salty. You guys were not happy, and you sent me a snap. We're like, we're coming for the title next year. Best believe that. So here's my question: what are you guys going to do to make sure you get your title back? What do we got?
We're coming guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
We're ready to entertain the people and give them a fantastic show.
Yeah, we're ready to entertain. Double Trouble is here and ready to
That's what we do.
It's true. You guys do a phenomenal job. The thing is if I have to see Munson win another best guest, I'm going to lose.
Second place is not our spot.
No. We're not here to lose.
So that's the thing. Get your friends, okay? Get all your friends and whatnot. Make sure that they vote, because that's key here. That is very key. I'm telling you. So get the friends to vote, get the family to vote, all that. That's what I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, we're ready. We've got our marketing plan in place. We're ready.
All right, because come January.
We did have some PR classes in college.
Yeah,
so
there we go.
That's true. Yeah. SMSU.
Shout out to Mark Foken.
Yeah.
we love that man.
Shout out Mark Folk. Exactly. Shout out Rick Herder too. Just wanted
Yeah.
But there's a couple things I want to address since we got with the best guess and whatnot. Kristen,
Yes.
your Packers.
Oh man,
It's been rough, hasn't it?
it
really
has
has.
been rough.
Let me just say something real quick.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta know how we feel most years.
Right.
You know?
No, I get it. I
Yep.
get it. I've accepted it. It has been tough to be a Packers fan, but I am a loyal Packers fan. So through and through, I'm here. I'm supporting them.
Yeah, you
Whatever
gotta
it
stay
takes.
with.
Gotta stick with them. I mean, it's easy to say, it's easy to blame Aaron Rodgers, and I did blame Aaron Rodgers at first. I thought he's not doing great. And it's easy to say, well, he's got young receivers, which is also true, but there is no excuse because they're all in the NFL. They're all professionals. They should be playing at the level, the highest level. So it's just the way it goes. I've accepted it, but I'll still cheer for him and hope for the best.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot. Remember last time we were talking about coach speak? That was coach speak right there. I mean, it was, and that's fine. I mean, it's totally fine. But Voldy knows my deal on Rodgers. We feel the same. I mean, Rodgers is
Right.
just, Rodgers is Rodgers. We don't like Rodgers, and we shouldn't because we're Viking fans
Right.
and whatnot.
Right.
But here's my next question for you though.
Okay.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers will be the quarterback next year? What do you think?
I do. I really do. I think I don't know why I do, but I do think he will still be there for 1 or 2 more years, honestly.
1 or 2 more years.
Do
Interesting.
you think so?
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think he's gonna stop for a little bit.
I don't think so either.
There's something weird with him. That's the thing. You can never read the guy.
He's gonna pull a Tom Brady.
Okay, but he is weird. He is a weird guy.
He is.
I mean, it's true.
Voldy, what was
Very.
that substance he had again?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Yep. Dude's a space cadet, and I love it.
Oh my gosh.
love it.
But okay, well, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, there are some people that want, Packer fans want him to stay, and whatnot, because what are you going to get? Well, Jordan Love played pretty well. I mean,
Yeah, but he's hit or miss though.
it's true. That's true. Hit or miss. But the thing is you can't get lucky again because you had Favre, you bring in Rodgers, and it's like, oh my God, like
I know.
just so super lucky.
I
Super
know.
lucky.
It's true.
Not like
But-
Rodgers was a sure thing right out of the gate either. So
Yeah, that's true. Last thing before we move on to Caitlin. You already know what I'm gonna ask. So is the wedding still on?
Yes.
Jordy Nelson, is the wedding still on? What do we got?
Yes, the wedding is still on. You're still invited,
Yes.
obviously. We're still working out dates, but yeah, we're looking at summertime
Summertime?
in
We're
Green
winning.
Bay.
Does that work for you, Voldy? Is it summertime?
yeah, I could probably squeeze you in.
Excellent.
But all jokes aside, you and your boyfriend, obviously he's fine with with Jordy and
Yeah,
whatnot,
he's
so,
fine with it. He's like, you know what? It's Jordy Nelson, so you do what you got to do.
Oh gosh, I love it. All right, Caitlin, you've had some exciting things happen since you've
Yeah.
been working at Fox 9. You got to meet Dalvin Cook, the chef,
Yeah.
our guy, Dalvin Cook.
Chef Cook.
Chef Cook, you know it. What was that like? I mean, what did you talk to him a little bit? Things like
Yeah,
that.
that
What did
was really fun. He is the nicest man ever. Like, we did a production shoot with him with one of my clients, so I got to go to his house and go shoot there, and it was really cool. He was just a very down to earth guy and just wanted to chat. And one of my friends is actually the athletic trainer for the Vikings. So I was chatting with her about it, and she texted me the next day, and she was like, I mentioned your name to Dalvin, and he was like, oh yeah, little homie's cool.
That's awesome.
He was a really nice guy. He was super sweet and just wanted to chat, and it's nice like to know at least he was super genuine and very kind, and now it just makes me want to cheer for them more.
Damn right. You're damn
Yeah.
right.
It was really fun.
So what'd you talk about? Can you disclose that or no?
Yeah, no, I was just I think he was a little nervous at first because there was a lot of people at his house and he didn't know like what was going on, and he was just kind of like, here's the script, start talking. And so I just kind of was like, do you have dogs? Like, I would have dogs if this is my yard. You have a huge yard. And we just talked about like, you know, where he's from and the house.
Florida,
you know, I don't think he wanted to talk about football because I feel like that's what everyone talks to him about. So I asked him about his dogs. Going into his house, he's got like this huge blinged out gate. And on the front of the gate, it's like this big dog with a chef hat. So you can definitely tell who lives there.
Right.
But yeah, he was really nice. We just talked about like his life and his family, and he was really sweet. So it was a really cool moment and one I'll definitely remember. So it was really cool.
One thing I'll say, because I've actually gone by his place because my sister's on the way over there and whatnot. Yeah. It's really cool. I saw, because I was like, I think that's his house because it has the floor and it has the dog on it. So yeah, but yeah, no, I know where that. I'm not creeping on you, Delvin. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, he was a really nice guy. So it was really fun. Definitely one of the coolest moments I've had at my job. So that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you're just you're on cloud nine with this, and I'm glad you're big into the Vikings and all that.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've definitely gone to a lot of games this season with my clients. I think I've gone to like 5 of them so far, and it's been super fun to actually watch them win for a season. I really just pray, like, I want to be alive for one season where they just can make it. Just one time in my life, I want to be alive where they have like a great season. Like, let's get it over.
Before I die, I said, before I die,
for real, like let's just get it over with while I'm young, so I don't have to worry about it ever again.
Right. Kristen's already got hers with the Packers.
Exactly.
So
like, let's just get it over with while I'm young. One time, that's all I ask. One time while I'm alive. I just want to see him do well once. Then I won't ask again.
Exactly.
Well, if
if Dalvin, like, if you run into Dalvin again, let him know. Like, hey, if he wants to come on MinneZona, we got him.
Okay, I'll definitely
love the chef on here because we love Dalvin.
Chef cook, baby.
The chef. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my last one before Voldy goes rapid fire like we did last time. Have you guys taken any more thought into that podcast?
No.
It's Double Trouble podcast.
We haven't.
We haven't, but that would be fun, and I think people would listen.
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing is I think you can have hot or not. You can. I mean, if you want to take it, I mean, that's fine. I'm not gonna. I won't be mad about that. I will help. I will help in any way I can.
That would be 90% of our show.
Yeah, or not. No, definitely. So besides that segment, what do you think that you could? What other segments that you would want to add to the podcast?
What can we talk about, Kristen?
We could talk about real life things.
For sure.
I mean,
SMSU stories.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Joking.
Game over there.
We could talk about a lot of SMSU stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Kristen and I could get on a podcast and start rambling about whatever and go down a tangent, and that would be our podcast.
Yeah.
Sure.
The conversation just doesn't stop.
The daily life.
The daily life. I like that. That's good.
The daily life of us.
The daily life of Double Trouble.
Yeah.
There it is.
Boom. Sometimes people just want to listen.
Yeah. I mean, I'd listen to every episode. Trust me. I would.
We appreciate
it. We could count on you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem at all. So give some thought to it. And let me know if we can help in any way, because I think it would be really successful, honestly. And I'm saying that for sure.
Oh, that's so sweet. We appreciate it.
We should talk about it for real.
Heck yeah.
Let's talk.
That would be fun.
I love it. All right. Voldy, Rapid fire. Go ahead.
Let's go.
All right, so we've got rapid fire here. We're going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to throw out a word to either one of you. We're going to start off with Tony here. I'm going to throw a word at you. First thing that comes to your mind. Work okay for you?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Toner. First thing comes to your mind. Marshall.
Soccer.
All right. Next one. SMSU. First thing that comes to mind.
Mark Falcon.
Shout out to Mark Falcon.
Shout
Next
out
one.
Mark Falcon.
Mac Jones.
Patriots.
Joss Julian.
Yelling.
Care to elaborate more on that one?
Shut up.
And finally, rapid fire. First thing comes to your mind. Kristen Weber.
No.
All right. We'll go rapid fire here. All right, for Kristen Weber here. First thing comes to mind when you think Marshall.
Cross country.
First thing that comes to mind, SMSU.
Caitlin.
First thing comes to mind when you hear Jordy Nelson.
Husband.
Surprise.
What about surprise. Joss Julian. What's the first thing comes to mind?
Maureen.
Good.
And finally, first thing that comes to mind when you think Caitlin Toner.
The love of my life.
Oh my God, I love that.
Surprise, surprise.
All
right.
That's what I got for rapid fire.
I'm going to add one. MinneZona Sports Live
Ooh,
for both.
Best show ever.
nice.
I double that. You can't go wrong.
I see what you
double
did
that.
there.
You can't go wrong.
No, you just can't.
Come
you just
on.
Can't. You honestly can't. So we appreciate it though. We really do. All right. It's time. It's time. You
Oh,
ready?
yeah.
All right.
yeah.
So this time we're doing NFL coaches. Now, mind you, we did get ripped last time because we did not give any good ones for them the last time, apparently, which
No.
was
You
rough.
gotta step up your game.
Well, I think,
Wow.
honestly, I think we did this time. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. So let's get it going, ladies.
Okay. I'm so
Share the
excited.
screen here
Let's go.
and you can see
The
everything.
NFL has really stepped up their game. Let me just say that.
No kidding.
I enjoy watching football a lot more this year.
Good. That's what we want to see. All right. My first one for you, Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions, as it'll come up here. There you go.
Ooh,
Hot or
Hot.
not?
it's hot.
All
I'll
right.
take him.
Interesting.
Dan
right.
Campbell. That's
All right.
interesting, isn't it, Voldy? Okay. So
Hey,
remember,
Interesting.
to each their own. To each
Dude
their
looks
own.
like he
Yeah,
could push
right.
over a truck.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He was a tight end. So, I mean, he was a tight end before. But one thing I will say, though, too, with this, make sure that we're going to rank them again. So
Okay.
be ready. So
Okay,
the
okay.
three. So,
Okay, noted.
All right. Next one. Dennis Allen of the New
No.
Orleans Saints. Hot or
Not.
not?
Not.
No.
Mm.
You see, we got to have some duds in there. So
That is a
that's good.
vanilla
Yeah.
looking man.
Yeah, and he's a clown anyway, so we got that. Next one, Jeff Saturday of the Colts.
No, but
I'm
you
gonna
know who
say
this
not.
man looks like?
Who?
Bill Murray. Does he not look like Bill Murray?
Yeah, he does.
Bill Murray.
He looks like
Yeah.
Bill
I can see
Murray,
it.
like a young
I
Bill
can see it.
Murray.
I could see it. I could see where you're
Okay.
coming through with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. So no for Caitlin,
No.
no for Kristen. Okay. Next one. Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns. Hot or not?
You know, he's like
No,
not
this one's
bad.
tricky.
Yeah.
Yes. See? Told you.
This
They're in the
one's
or
stumping me.
category.
Sorry, my dog.
Probably the or category, and they're not hot or not. They're
Hold
just
on.
or.
Well,
Yeah.
Kristen thinks I'm gonna get my dog real quick.
I'm gonna send it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say hot.
All right.
All right. The little salt and pepper with Stefanski.
Yes.
Former
Yes.
No
Vikings
breaks, I like
offensive
it.
coordinator. So
Okay,
let's
she
go.
said hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna
Yep.
say hot too. You know, let him take me out to dinner. Sure.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Good for Stefanski. All right. Next one. Cliff Kingsbury, hot or not?
Oh my God, yes.
He's hot.
Yeah, he's hot. Okay.
I knew that was probably going to be the case with
Are you
Kingsbury.
That's a
kidding
given.
me?
But
Yeah.
remember when remember Jimmy Garoppolo from last time?
Oh,
You guys
I
were
don't like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. You guys are like, no way.
We're like,
So,
no.
I was kind of thinking that this would kind of be, but hey, you know.
No, he's
I can
cute.
see that though. Yeah.
Alright.
But I'm saying yes.
All right. Next one.
Ah!
Kevin O'Connell.
Ah,
My favorite.
hot.
Oh my God, he's so hot.
Kristen? I know
Hot.
he's Viking colored. Okay, hot. Fair
Oh
enough.
my,
yeah.
doesn't
Disregard
matter.
the
He
Viking.
is smoking. Where's the fire extinguisher?
This was kind of like the Mac Jones from last time. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
my God, that man is hot. He is married with children, but
There you go. KOC.
I love
All
it.
right. Next one. Kyle Shanahan.
oh my
Not.
God.
No.
Nope. All right.
Sorry,
Nope.
man.
Yeah, a little gruff. Not for
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle. All right. Next one. Matt LaFleur.
Oh,
Yeah, he's hot.
10.
Yeah.
So fine.
Yeah. The Vikings and Packers got some good looking
Oh.
coaches.
Gosh.
The only like common thing that they have apparently.
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
agree
no
on that for sure.
All right. Our next one. Sean McVay.
Ugh.
Hot.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm
Ooh,
in. I'm
same.
in. I'm in.
I'm
that
not. He
alright?
kind of gives me like creepy vibes. Maybe it's the picture.
You know, to be honest,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be that too. It was tough to find a good
This
one.
is giving me like creepy, like
No,
Creepy
just look at his
vibes.
eyes. They're nice eyes.
yeah. I
fine.
think it's the picture.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, fair enough. All right, next one. Mike McDaniel.
Oh no,
Not-
this dude is weird.
I had a feeling it's the glasses.
No,
isn't it?
I saw him
No.
like post game interview, and I'm like, did this dude even play football?
I don't think.
I don't think he
played
did.
professionally. No, I don't think he
Not.
did. So not for Mike McDaniel. Sorry,
Mhm.
Mike McDaniel. All right, Mike Tomlin.
Yes, he's hot.
Yeah.
Wow, Mike Tomlin getting some love.
I mean,
I like it.
that's a good picture too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've seen him coach his games, and he is straight faced the whole game, very serious. And I'm like, okay, this man takes his job very serious.
Former
let's
Vikings
go.
defensive coordinator too. So
Mhm.
that's good. I'm gonna Mike Tomlin. All right, our next one, Nick Sirianni.
Not.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, it's too bad, and it's
he
the
looks like he
Eagles.
needs some sunlight.
I love it. Oh my gosh. All right,
Sorry,
next
man.
one. Robert Sala.
Not.
No, he
I'm not
needs
here
some
for
like
it.
facial hair or something.
Yeah. he needs some facial. Yeah,
He
there
does
you
have nice
go.
eyelashes though. it
Yeah,
looks
I
like.
mean,
Oh,
he's
there
got
you
a good face. I just think he needs some like.
a little something.
He's not ugly, but just not hot.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. All
He's
right.
not cute, but not hot.
Cute, but not hot. All right. That's fine. All right. Next one. Sean Payton.
Oh my God, who is that?
Not.
Well, here's the backstory.
What the heck?
I hate this clown so much. So that's the reason why I put this on here, just to get the reaction that you guys gave.
No,
I hate this guy so much. So good.
Just
I'm
put
glad.
him in last place.
Yes.
There we go.
Damn right. So I did that just kind of for fun. So that was good. So Sean Payton, screw you, man. All right,
Yeah.
next one. I think that is
that all of them? I
it.
think-
That's all of
yeah,
them.
Dang,
there you
That's
go.
all.
you gotta
for
rank
honor.
them.
All right,
How
let's
does it
rank them. Okay, so let me
Matt
guess.
LaFleur, number one.
Kevin O'Connell, number one.
No,
For
Matt
me,
LaFleur.
Okay, so Matt
we're gonna have
LaFleur.
two different number ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Kristen LaFleur, and then Caitlin KOC. All right, number two.
I'll say O'Connell. Number
I'll
two.
say LaFleur. Sure, he's
Yep,
a good-looking
yep.
man.
So
Oh,
1A,
wow.
1B. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Number 3.
What about the salt and pepper guy would be my number 3.
Kevin
Really?
Stefanski.
Stefanski.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay, Kristen.
All right. Let's go 4. Let's go top 4. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Kevin Stefanski for Kristen. And then number 3 for you, Caitlin. What do you got?
I'm gonna do Mike Tomlin.
Oh, yeah, he's my number 4.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
All right. So Mike
Mike
Tomlin, Mikey T for 3, and then 4 for Kristen, right?
Yeah.
Michael?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, who's my number 4?
Okay, let me bring it back for you. Let's see. Notice. Cliff Kingsbury.
No.
Or Dan Campbell, the first one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
let's go to the first one. Let's see the
Yep.
first one.
Dan Campbell. What do you say? Number 4 for you?
Sure, he could be my number 4.
Same with you, or no, you already have your number 4.
Yeah.
You can put him at 5, right?
Yeah, he's number 5.
All right.
Lucky
We
number.
got some good looking men up there.
Yeah. So how do we do this time? How do we do
You
this?
did great. You
Oh,
knocked
good.
it out of the park.
And all I'm saying,
Awesome.
yes, we love it.
See, so we redeemed ourselves now.
Yeah,
So
I love that
Absolutely.
segment. It's fun.
Mhm. It's
That's
fun.
good. Like I said, for the podcast, feel free to take it if you want.
Okay, we'll give you credit,
All right,
obviously.
fair enough.
Obviously.
I mean,
Like I said, watching football this year has been much more entertaining.
There you go. There you go. Have you been watching the World Cup, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it. I know
Also, it's
Caitlin
on
has.
Fox, so you can stream it on. Watch it on
There you
Fox.
go. There you go.
I am very disappointed that the U.S. is out, though.
Mhm.
I
But
don't
we
know
knew that
what
was
it
going to
is.
happen. So
Yeah,
Mm.
fair enough.
the girls will do their job.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, they definitely will. Yeah. I know. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But as always, ladies, it has been a absolute pleasure to have you girls on again.
The pleasure is ours.
And we can't wait to have another best of luck on the best guest.
Yeah, hopefully
Remember,
we redeem
Thank
our
you.
title.
right.
Yeah.
Reclaim the title. Tell your friends, tell your family, make sure
Mhm.
they vote because
Yeah.
people will be voting a lot because we got some good ones and you guys
Yeah.
got to get it back. You know,
Oh,
you
we'll
gotta
be
get it
shouting it from the
Yep.
rooftops.
We're trying. We know it's a tough competition, though. We know you have great guests.
Yes.
Yes.
We know we have to bring our A game, which we did. I would say we did. So we're in the
Yeah.
running.
I
You
give it
guys
an A.
always have a great show, so it's not easy for us. So
Yes.
Sorry, I had to dry my tears
we
there.
got to do our job.
Exactly. Well, we thank you girls for coming on and we will talk to you next time. So appreciate it.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank
All right, there it is. There it is in all its glory. It was a heck of a time. You know,
It was.
I'm proud of myself actually, Voldy.
Okay.
The thing is that like I said, last time wasn't the best. I mean, granted,
Right.
we did. I mean, there were some good ones in there. I mean, our guy Kirk Cousins was on the list, Mac Jones,
Right.
Tom Brady, those guys. But after that, there was a big gap. This time,
Huge gap.
This time, not so much with hot or not.
Yes.
So it went pretty well from that end. But let's read some of the comments. Let's get to our zoners here before we get into some Vikings talk. So Kerf Doctor tuning in, double the trouble. Apparently, Easy says, let's go. And then Kerf Doctor says, go where, Easy? Out back. Point taken. Lucas says it's easy to say that he's washed up with Frogers. Oh, wait, no, Rogers. Oh, no, Frogers. Right, yeah, Frogers. I will say this, Rogers is very well-read, respect for the reading habit. No, it's good to read, so that's good.
Fair enough.
Once a fraud, always a fraud. Easy was laughing at the Bill Murray thing. I was laughing pretty hard with that. In comparison
Yeah, that was a
between
good.
Jeff
That was a
Saturday
good one. Yeah.
and and Bill Murray. Oh, that was great. Can't coach, so might as well look good. I believe that was when Cliff Kingsbury was on there.
Might as well.
KOC, the number one for hot or not for both of them. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt says, how is Kingsbury not number one? Look at him. And then and then the money and the house. I take it they probably haven't seen Hard Knocks, so maybe they'd change it up. I don't know, but that's just my thing. Lucas calls us legends. We appreciate it. Thank you, Lucas. And he said, I couldn't see the Bill Murray resemblance, but now it's all I can see.
Yep.
I'm just going to have to. I mean, should we just do a picture of Bill Murray, Jeff Saturday, and do a poll or something? Does he look? Yeah. Do they look alike? And go from.
Gonna have to.
So let us know in the comments if you want to. But thank you to Double Trouble. Yes, I feel like we can get the chef on the show because I'm feeling good about it. Caitlin's got an in for us, Voldy. So hopefully at some point we get the chef on, and I'm looking forward to that at some point. So. Let's keep our fingers crossed with that. But thank you to Double Trouble. We love them. They were fantastic as per usual. Munson's, I don't know. There's a lot of good guests that we've had. It's going to be tough to see how, or it's going to be interesting. Once we open up the polls and whatnot. So we'll give them a run for their money. All right. Without further ado, thank you to Double Trouble. It's time to get on some Vikings talk. One hell of a game. That's all I got to say. One hell of a game. Not expected, all that fun stuff. So, Voldy, let's just get it going with some Tater Tot Hot Take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
I forgot to do this at the top of the show, Voldy.
Yeah.
But I want to give claps out to our guy, Austin Moran, our voice guy. He does a phenomenal job. We finally updated the intro to have it say West St. Paul Studios and whatnot, and he knocked it out of the park as per usual. So claps go out to our guy. Austin Moran. Appreciate you, voice of MinneZona Sports Live. So. Just want to throw that out there. All right, let's get into it. Only need 5 touchdowns. That is what Patrick Peterson said on Saturday to his teammates at halftime. The Vikings were down 33-0. 33-0. I can say that I thought we were going to lose, and all the frauds that people are calling the Vikings and whatnot, they're just laughing at us. You're losing to a 4-8-1 team. You're not doing any. This is ridiculous. And yes, it was ridiculous. It was a terrible, terrible performance in the first half, offensively, defensively. Special teams, especially the blocked punt. A lot of really big returns too. They got it to the 40 at least 2 or 3 times on kickoffs. So it was bad, and you will be one and done if you play like that. And but it wasn't that. They came back. They completed the largest comeback in NFL history against the Jeff Saturday Colts. It shouldn't have been like that. And I say that just because there's no freaking way that you should lose to this team without Jonathan Taylor, for one. He was out like the first 2 plays, and then he was playing the first 2 plays, and then he was out and whatnot. But honestly, I thought this game was over at half, and I was not happy. And you saw me on the social medias. I mean, it was sad. It was very sad. So, but they come back. They show we're gonna win the North today, and they do it by completing the largest comeback in NFL history. So, Voldy Zoners, your thoughts? Go.
I mean, the overall performance of the team, one half to the next, obviously polar opposites. The Vikings did just about everything that they could in that first half to lose the game. They only played one half of football. I even said to myself, it's like, is there a mercy rule? Can we just, wrap this up? It's 33-0 at the half. Can we, I mean, no, stop. He's already dead.
Yeah.
Stop. It's like, that was the thing going through my mind. I like second half. It's like, okay, maybe let him play a couple series, the starters, and start working in some of the backups. We'll try and regroup for next week. But they started moving the football. KJ Osborne became more prevalent. Dalvin, he ended up scoring the touchdown to ended up get us within 2 to eventually take the lead as well. Obviously, JJ had his bright spots. Adam Thielen, welcome to the party, Adam Thielen, in the second half without even getting a target in the first half. A complete overall effort, team effort. Of course, TJ Hawkinson got the 2-point conversion to tie the game. But, like Pat Pete said, only need 5 touchdowns to win. And you know what? They did it that way. Obviously, getting the ball to start off early in the second and overtime too. Didn't convert on the first drive, but the defense. Let's talk about the defense.
Yes.
They rallied in that second half, big time as well. And the NFL, once again, screws the Vikings some way, somehow, by taking 2 fumble recovery for touchdowns from Shandon Sullivan. And look, I am just as frustrated as Shandon Sullivan as well. Should have had easily 2 touchdowns in that contest, but got them both taken away for still literally, I have no idea why. The dumbest of all judgment calls that, especially the second one, where literally he was not down. It was a clear fumble, had possession, finished the play in the end zone. I don't understand why the continuation of said play did not follow through for Shandon Sullivan's second fumble recovery. And I'm with him on, taking off the helmet and voicing his frustration.
Oh, yeah.
I don't fault him for that. Ended up, eventually scoring, a couple plays later for the touchdown for Dalvin Cook. So it worked out in that regard. Second half was, the team that got them to that 10-2 record.
Right.
And, now with that first half team, certainly something that will have to be addressed as well. The Vikings have been a team when they get going early in the contest, it's that first drive of the game. Right. And if they don't get going in the first drive of the game, it's something that tends to hurt them a little bit longer because, again, you get down early against whatever opponent that you're facing. It makes it a little bit harder to try and come back. So if the Vikings, get off to a good start offensively, that is usually a good sign of things to come. It's just about sustaining that, a lot more consistency without having to play from behind to try and prove something. But overall, the greatest comeback in NFL history is going to be labeled not only for the Vikings, but once again, Matt Ryan is the fallen victim in this one. And unfortunately, if his career ends up to be in Canton, Ohio, he's going to be the greatest, I don't want to even say choke artist of all time, but it's not even real. It is and it isn't his fault at the same time. Needed some plays to happen to go their way, but overall, you can't blame Matt Ryan strictly for that 33-point blown performance in the second half. But it doesn't hurt that it's now twice that's happened to him. Of course, Super Bowl 51, and now this contest as an Indianapolis Colt. Matt Ryan's career, again, will have an asterisk next to it on comebacks that didn't work to their favor.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to add, because I did see this, I think, a little bit before the show, but he got benched. Nick Foles is starting. Nick Foles is starting next week. So apparently, maybe the Colts think that that it was his fault, but I doubt. I can't. There's no way that that's all his fault. And I'll add too. They didn't have. Well, technically, they should have had 2 turnovers. I want to get to that too, but he didn't turn over the ball or anything like that. But he played it. He played it safe because, honestly, I think he's done. There's just, the thing is he's not the same. He made 1 or 2 throws, but after that, it's he couldn't get the ball downfield. I can tell you that. But let's get to those 2. So the fumble that happened the first time. If the runner is still trying to get extra yards, you don't blow the whistle right then and there. And that was the issue with that. I can see from that perspective maybe that would be okay, but no, that was a missed one, and Chandon Sullivan got robbed there. The second one was so egregious that I was pissed. I was so mad. I was mad with Chandon Sullivan. I would have been throwing my helmet and throwing a fit too, because clearly the ball's out. Clearly he picked it up, and clearly he took it for a touchdown. It's not that hard. So we could have completed the comeback earlier than expected. And now that it's all said and done and whatnot, I guess I've kind of taken my foot off the gas pedal a little bit, because we won the game and whatnot. But honestly, if we got screwed by that, I'd be so angry. Those officials should never ref a game again. And that was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if I've seen anything from the NFL officiating on this whole situation, but that is just so egregious. And Chandon Sullivan had every right to be upset. It sucked that we had to get that penalty, but can you blame the guy? I mean, no. I couldn't have blamed him on that. So that's what I want to say on that. But there's one guy that I do want to mention here, and we all know this. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
after an abysmal first half from Kirk, not all his fault. Granted, Jalen Reagor, even in the second half, I mean, 2 of those were on Reagor. And the second one for sure. First one, you can make the argument that it wasn't, but Kirk Cousins in that second half was just amazing. And nothing short of amazing. Finding guys left and right. JJ's making catches on Stephon Gilmore. He said, Stephon Gilmore said he wouldn't do the grit. I won't let that, he said, I won't let that boy do the gritty on me. And well, he not only did the gritty on you, but he broke your ankles. He absolutely broke your ankles and made you look silly. Best wide receiver in the game, Justin Jefferson. He was fantastic. Historic. I mean, anything you want to put. Thielen was great in the second half. Dalvin bounced back after that fumble that he had, especially after the big run and then fumble. But then the 65-yard touchdown on the screen pass. And really, Voldy, screen passes were not working for this team for the longest time. And finally, it worked. It was effective, and it was good, and it was well-timed. So shouts out to that. And I'm going to give some credit to Ed Donatel here. Credit to Ed Donatel for getting the defense to kind of settle in and finally start creating some pressure, because they did create a lot of pressure towards the end there. And another thing too is that there's finally some guys that are making some noteworthy tackles. And Duke Shelley, Shelley Island, baby. I'm liking his play so far. So shout out to Duke Shelley. Claps out to him too. It was a heck of a game, and there's one more thing I'll get into, but let's get to our comments here. Easy A says, are the Vikings the Bears now, where they suck in the first half but amazing in the second half? Yeah, maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't know. It says, release Ryan, garbage. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, he wasn't good. Practice squad refs. I mean, not even that. They shouldn't even be high school. That's what I think. Stephon Gilmore is a dud like Ryan. And then the cheap shot that he had on JJ was a little bit much too. So, but it is what it is. So the Vikings win, and Voldy, again, the national media attacking Kirk Cousins. Surprise, surprise.
Not at all.
Defensive coordinator saved his job, Lucas asked. Yeah, I'd say so. That second half, they turned it around. They only let up, 3 points in the second half, I think. So 3 points in the second half, that's pretty it's pretty good nonetheless. So, yeah, I'd say, yeah, for now. I don't know if you make that change with 3 games left, but I don't know. More on that later. All right, of course, people are ripping Kirk Cousins. ESPN awarded Cousins with a 33 QBR on Saturday. They're saying that he wasn't good. Did they not see the whole game? Clearly, yeah, you could put the 33 on the first half, but the guy had 417 passing yards in the second half, 4 touchdown passes. So what are we getting bent out of shape on here for? And this is what peeves me, because they just like, oh, because it's Kirk Cousins that this is this way. You know what? Can we stop with all that? The guy went out in the second half, throws 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, and you don't think that he played well? Are you kidding me? If this was Aaron Rodgers, if this was Tom Brady, if this was Pat Mahomes, if this was Josh Allen, you say, oh, Hall of Famer, everything like that. But no, it's Kirk Cousins. They just move on from it. They just think, oh, just because he's Kirk Cousins, this is how it is. The guy works his tail off. They keep, just throwing shade at him. And it's like, why? Why? He won you guys the game. So don't even get at me with that stuff. So Voldy, Zoners, your thoughts on this whole, QBR BS here?
Yeah, I didn't know that the experts were the ones in charge of handing out QBRs left and right. How dare they to put Kirk Cousins' QBR 0.2 of a point better than Davis Mills from Houston? Yeah. Of course, they just barely lost to Kansas City, obviously, in overtime, but still, you're going to put the worst, the quarterback from the worst team in the league right above the guy that played the game of his life in the second half, made plays when he needed to. Other than that interception, not entirely his fault, but Jalen Reagor made up for it later in the game, as it usually is. And, 4 touchdown passes, helping set up that 5th touchdown, a couple of drives where they needed plays to be made. It's just another oversight, once again, that the national media hates Minnesota. There's no getting around it. No matter what they do, they could literally win by 35 points, and they still say, well, that other team sucked, so why should we even give them a win to begin with? You didn't win that game. The other team lost. That situation, once again, I just don't understand why the likes of the national media continues to not put Kirk Cousins on this pedestal, because the fact that one of the guys he's throwing to is a serious NFL MVP candidate right now, and if not Offensive Player of the Year, and yet, well, Justin Jefferson can't throw the ball to himself. He's got to have someone to do that. And while Kirk Cousins is doing that, he's putting up the numbers that in past years have garnered him a little bit of attention. It just continues to rub me the wrong way why people aren't addressing how Kirk Cousins has contributed throughout this whole year. Completely under the radar because of the fact that nobody wants to say anything about it.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to add, too, is, I'm not even going to base that QBR metric from ESPN anymore. I mean, that is ridiculous. You cannot you cannot take that and think, oh, yeah, he was just terrible. 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Come back to me. Yeah, you're right. The national media hates Minnesota because, they just choke all the time and this and this and that. Yeah, there's probably some of that, but at the same time, why do you keep on talking about teams that aren't even that good? I mean, the Jets aren't that good, but you talk about them all the time. The Giants aren't even that good either. So, just saying. Lucas says, Ryan Coombe was a better intramural basketball ref than those guys were NFL refs.
Wow.
I give him that. I'll give him that. And again, cheap shot at Coombe, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do that. So, just kidding, Coombe. Any other QB does it, and they will definitely say MVP type performance. That's just how it goes now. We can't do anything right just because we're Minnesota. So, Vikings play on Saturday again, Christmas Eve, against the New York Giants. Feeling good about it. A whiteout, which I think would be very interesting, even though I wanted the blackout at some point. I really want it. But
baby steps.
Yes,
they're making the right strides.
Yep, so hopefully Vikings get the win. If the Eagles win this weekend, they would clinch the 1 seed. So keep that in mind. 49ers still trailing behind, too. So, Skol Vikes until Saturday. So, all right. With that being said, do it for Tater Tot Hot Take this week. Double trouble, Tater Tot Hot Take. Whew, we got a stacked lineup, and we got a stacked lineup for Absurd or Approved. Carloscorrea, not a Giant, apparently. Jalenhurts is hurt. The Jets are bad. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So let's get it going with some Absurd or Approved.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, it is time for Absurd or Approved. So, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
Well, just when you thought things couldn't get worse for Twins fans, seeing another opportunity for Carloscorrea to quite possibly return to Minnesota doesn't exactly work that way. Less than a week ago, Carloscorrea was a San Francisco Giant. He was in the midst of signing a 13-year, $350 million contract with the Bay Area. But apparently a difference in opinion concerning his physical let that deal fall right through. Obviously, it was going to be, earlier this week, they were going to introduce him to the media in a San Francisco Giants uniform. Finding out very early this morning that Correa has agreed upon a 12-year, $315 million contract with the New York Mets, and the Mets are making all the moves here this offseason to certainly put them into contention, not only in the National League, but even throughout all of baseball. Now, this is certainly a very interesting situation. You see these big contracts come through, especially the Mets, who went out and gotten a lot of guys here this offseason, and it just is very, very interesting how the deal from San Fran and Correa was pretty much a done deal. But then the physical says, we are not really comfortable with this, thus leading to him hitting the free market. And, well, the Mets weren't too far behind with their owner basically negotiating a deal while on vacation, or somebody was on vacation. Now, with the signing of Correa to go along with all the other guys that have been picked up by the Mets here this offseason, is it absurd or approved? The Mets are now the front runners, not only in the National League with the signing Correa and the other moves that they've made here this offseason.
You know, wasn't it a failed physical with, I think it was Chris Paul or something like that when he was going to the Lakers? It was failed physical, and then he ends up going to the Clippers, all that stuff. And I feel like this is kind of like that, since it's not really technically free agency or anything, because that was a trade. This is free agency. But it's interesting to me because, the Twins, they have another opportunity. I mean, there was no way that they were going to come back. Even with this deal, we said that the Twins would never come up with the deal that he had with the Giants. Well, this would be the same for the Mets. But, did they miss out on them? Yeah, sure. I guess it remains to be seen. But there are bigger needs. And, yes, you have Royce Lewis, but two torn ACLs does not bode well. Too, so we're worried about that. So I would say with the Mets, Voldy, that they might be the perennial right there. I mean, they want to win so bad, and they've come close. What was it, like a couple times already that they've almost gotten to the World Series. They've almost won.
Yeah.
It's things like that. But now that they have Correa to help out with things with the Mets, I think this is a big deal, and I think that could they be the front runners? I still think the Padres are a little bit ahead of them, especially with them being in the National League.
Right.
But they're definitely in the mix, and you still got the Dodgers, and you still have these up and coming teams that could overtake them, but it can be fine. It can work if you have all these star players, but sometimes it doesn't like that. But I still think it's the Padres. But they are front runners, I will say that. So, yeah, I'd say it's got my stamp of approval. Voldy, what do you think?
I mean, it's a very interesting signing by them because they already have a shortstop. They've got Francisco Lindor. He's on the hook for 10 years, $341 million. And, they already went and signed a whole bunch of guys. They re-signed Edwin Diaz for 5 years,
sure.
$102 million. And Brandon Nimmo, he got a new contract, 8 years, $162 million. Oh, yeah, they've got this guy by the name of Max Scherzer. Payroll. Oh, yeah, they just went and signed Justin Verlander, too. It's like they're just basically just putting together, a literal all-star team. And, of course, they did sign Jose Quintana along with Adam Ottavino and David Robertson to back out the bullpen. While also getting international signing with Kadai Senga as well, who is a Japanese star. So basically, they're pushing all the chips in. They're taking the LA Rams route, saying, F those picks. We want to win now, basically. Give me the big names on the free agent market. Let's throw them a bunch of money. They're pushing all in right now, and that's where baseball needs a hard salary cap, because these numbers they're throwing out here are just completely ridiculous. Is Carlos Correa going to go all 13 years and get his $315 million for 12 years? I don't really see that. He'll be 40. Yeah, he'll be 40 by the end of his contract, whether he's still playing in the National League and or for the Mets too. We'll see. We'll talk about that here in 12 years' time when that is all said and done. But I just, as putting them in contention in the National League, I don't know about the National League. Certainly puts them in contention in their division, because obviously the Phillies made it to the World Series. The Braves are still young enough and still got a strong enough core group of players that they're certainly contenders. The Marlins aren't going to be rolling over anytime soon. Nationals, who cares about the Nationals anymore? But it's certainly a 4-horse race in the National League East. But overall, Dodgers, Padres, Phillies as well, with the Braves in the mix. Maybe the Mets in there too, but at the end of the day, the Mets are going to Met, and they'll find a way to screw this thing all up too. Because getting Carlos Correa, I mean, it's just crazy how it went from, he's a San Francisco Giant to not getting the ink dry on the contract to where it's like, no, we're not comfortable with this, and ends up turning right around and signing with the Mets. It's completely, has it got my stamp of approval? I think it's a little bit absurd. I don't think that's going to put them into strong contention. They'll find a way to screw this up.
Mets gonna Met. I think that's probably that's a good one. You should keep that. So we'll do that. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, with the sustained injury to quarterback Mike White this past week, and of course with now a quick turnaround from Sunday going into tomorrow night with Thursday, the New York Jets find themselves a little bit of quarterback controversy. Of course, their pride and joy that was at the start of the season with the likes of Zach Wilson, his off-the-field issues and on-the-field issues as well, led him not only to get benched, but also been not even active for a couple of weeks. Now he put themselves into a spot that, it's whether or not he's going to get the start, it is certainly going to be whether he is going to remain the starter for the rest of the season. Obviously, Mike White did sustain fractured ribs in the game against Buffalo this past week that literally folded him in half. Joe Flacco is hanging around, just doing his thing. But Zach Wilson did get the start this past Sunday against the Detroit Lions. It was not for a lack of effort. They ended up losing, but still put them in a strong position to compete. And, they only lost by 3 points, but still put them in a position. The Lions are a very quality team, and with that Jets team that started off strong this year has put themselves into a different situation now to where they're going to be scraping by and they're scuffling for wins here at this point, given their quarterback situation too. But as a look based on the comments of Coach Robert Saleh, basically talking about how the performance from Zach Wilson this past Sunday was good enough to get that starting nod, but whether he's going to get it for this week, said basically, you know what, I don't feel comfortable asking that. Good enough to be in the NFL, but good enough to be quarterback for this team week to week, yet to be seen in that regard. So with those comments from Robert Saleh, who should be starting quarterback for the New York Jets?
I think the guys really rallied behind White for a little bit. He had a great game against the Bears. Goes against the Vikings and, plays pretty good. But I just think with everything that's happened with Wilson, I mean, you spent he was a second pick in the draft, and you looked at him as the future. And Saleh, he's backing Zach Wilson. But the thing is that it's hard to trust him, Zach Wilson now. And yeah, there are guys now coming out and saying like, oh, he's doing better and, he's more team oriented and, things like that. It's like, well, good. But I will say that he didn't play too bad. And, that is commendable. He had some nice passes. You just have to do that on a consistent basis and not be phased by, or not be, be about yourself, because obviously your teammates were against you and whatnot. So Saleh says the frustrating thing is that this kid is going to be a good quarterback, but the NFL and this new instant coffee world that we're in just doesn't want to give people time. Okay. I can see where he's coming from there, but Zach Wilson's performances have been hideous. And, granted, I don't know who their offensive coordinator is, but they need to keep working with him because there's not signs of, heading upward. I mean, just look at Justin Fields, or Bustin Fields, I would say. I still think that, he's improved vastly, especially with the change in offense and whatnot. But is that going to be sustainable? I don't know. Or you look at a guy that, that's been in the league, struggled, and now is on fire, Trevor Lawrence. So maybe he can kind of get to that point. He has enough mobility. He has the arm. He's got the intangibles. Does he have the mental headspace to do it?
Right.
Because that's the main thing that you got to have. So Saleh's comments about this, I do partially agree with this, I will say. But I'm going to say it's a little bit absurd because you benching him is pretty much saying, like, this is the final straw. Don't screw this up. And, it depends on how he responds. So Lucas says, I think you have to stick with Wilson. So I would kind of agree with that. I think that's kind of the same deal. But Mike White, he's played pretty well too. So I'm going to give this – I'm going to give it my stamp of approval of his comments because, yes, it is demanding, like, oh, they got to be good right out of the gate, blah, 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 which some guys it takes a little bit. So I get that. Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, first off, why the hate on instant coffee from Robert Saleh? Jeez, those kind of out of left field. But honestly, I would take a fully 100% healthy Zach Wilson right now over a fractured ribbed Mike White.
Right.
You're coming off a Sunday, going into a Thursday game as well, with it being obviously that quick turnaround. I would still stick with Zach Wilson, obviously, because, even with, going to like 10 different doctors, Mike White pretty much came up with the same answer. It's like, look, them ribs are fractured, and you gotta let those things heal. Not going out there and playing quarterback, unfortunately, is what it's going to have to be for Mike White. And there have been some growing pains with Zach Wilson, obviously on the field, off the field too, even with earlier this year. But, I think the Jets are still, they're going up against Jacksonville, who's riding the high off that win against Dallas this past Sunday. It's not going to be, an easy one to walk over, but still quite a tough matchup for the Jets going against Jacksonville coming up tomorrow night. But, I'd still take Zach Wilson right now over, Mike White too. I mean, give him another week to rest up, even like a mini bye week too for them to get all 100% healthy. So I'd still take Zach Wilson to start this Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, I would too, especially with fractured ribs. That's not a thing you can just heal from right away. So we'll go with that. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, tough situation for another quarterback in a, highfalutin area, this being the Philadelphia Eagles. Quarterback Jalenhurts sprained his right throwing shoulder in the game against the Chicago Bears this past Sunday, but putting him with his availability for Saturday's game into question against not only a rivalry matchup, but a very pivotal NFC East matchup, that being against the Dallas Cowboys here coming up on Sunday. Nothing seems to be a for sure answer whether he's not going to start, whether he's going to be on the injury report, whether he's even going to be suited as well. The Eagles are playing this one close to the chest and keeping things under wraps so far. But still, with the injury sustained to Jalenhurts and a throwing shoulder, it doesn't look to be long-term or have any negative impact to his ability as quarterback. Is it possible, or is it absurd or approved? With Hurts being injured, does this take the Eagles out of being the team to beat in the NFC?
I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say no is because that defense is really good. Hassan Reddick has been off the edge, has been fantastic. He was, they were going after Fields. Yeah, Fields had the nice run, whatnot, but their line could not handle, or the Bears' offensive line could not handle the defensive line of the Eagles. Brandon Graham's still playing at a high level. Big play Slay. I mean, they have corners that can lock you up. And yes, we saw what happened when the Vikings took on the Eagles, Slay versus Jefferson, but at the same time, I feel like if the Vikings ever face them again, or if they face them in the playoffs, I should say, I feel like it's going to be a point of emphasis of how they'll attack this defense. But they're very good. They have enough weapons on their offense, especially if you're going to go with Gardner Minshew, which I think they will. Right. He's very capable. He's a very capable quarterback, especially A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders in the backfield. Gainwell's another sneaky addition. Boston Scott's a very good back too. So they have enough weapons. They get Dallas Goedert back, and I wouldn't be too concerned if I were the Eagles. I mean, they're good. They're damn good, and they are. I feel like they are the team to beat. But there's teams are starting to creep up. You look at San Francisco. You look at Minnesota. I mean, especially with us too. I mean, who gives a damn about the point differential at this point?
Right.
But they are sneaking up on you. So if you lose this game against Dallas here, you might be a little uneasy, but I wouldn't worry too much because they're that good. So, I'll give it my stamp of approval. They're still the team to beat if he's out. So, all right, Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is going to be more about who's going to be able to manage the game. Obviously, if Jalenhurts can't go, then it's going to fall to Gardner Minshew, who is no slouch himself. I mean, obviously, he's had experience starting as well. He filled in a couple of times with the Eagles late last season. Now, obviously, Minshew mania down in Jacksonville was all the rage a couple of years ago before he ended up being a backup here in Philadelphia. If he's able just to control the tempo of the game and, just give the ball to, Miles Sanders, get the ball to A.J. Brown, get it to the receivers, get it to tight ends, and just, make the throws that he's supposed to, hang on to the football, it'll be just fine. But you're going up against, Dallas, who's got Micah Parsons, Dexter Lawrence as well. I mean, there's so many guys on both sides of the ball for both teams that are literally one play away from changing the entire face of the game. On the defensive side, of course, for the Eagles, they just continue to just improve with each game that goes by. And even with the Cowboys, too, on the other side, this will certainly be one that people look back on the season like this was a football game. And you know what? I see it as an opportunity. Even with Jalenhurts, the possibility of him not playing, I still think the Eagles will win this one against Dallas.
Yep. And especially with the way that Jacksonville kind of exposed their defense, because granted, you have Parsons, and he can wreck a game too, but if you're able to neutralize him, you're in good shape. So, all right, next one, Voldy.
Well, this one just continues to dry out the inevitability of some sports being too long. Let's jump into the world of the NHL. The NHL has discussed possibly expanding its regular season schedule from 82 games to 84 games in an effort to create more regional rivalry matchups, according to sources, that is considering alternatives to its current schedule after some teams complained about being in an imbalanced number of divisional games against rivals as well. There are some very notable rivals. Of course, the battle for Alberta with Calgary and Edmonton. Of course, you have the battle for California with like the Kings and the Sharks. Of course, the the glitz and glam matchup between the Kings and Vegas. You've got the battle for Florida with the likes of you got the Panthers going up against Tampa Bay. That's always a good matchup. I see a few regional matchups like Wild Winnipeg. Those always get really good turnout because they're shouting and driving distance of each other. You get a lot of other really good matchups potentially out of this whole situation. But is it absurd or approved? Should the NHL, is the NHL schedule already too long to begin with, and do we need many more games?
No, I think that there should be less games because I feel like whenever you're watching the NHL nowadays, there's a lot going on, and especially with 84. I mean, you move it up to 84. I mean, what's the benefit of it? You shorten a little bit of the preseason. Like, is that going to make that big of a difference?
Right.
Well, that's my question. But apparently Bettman was against adding teams to the Stanley Cup playoffs, which I think is interesting too because, granted, if you add more teams, it'll get, interesting. As you see with the NFL, I think it's ridiculous that they add in an extra team. It was fine the way it was, but of course, they have to keep, adding more stuff. I just think it's ridiculous that you add 2 more games and just be like, you could shorten a little bit of the preseason. That's fine. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I guess, I'm going to pin this as absurd. I think that the season is a little bit too long for my taste, I will say. But I mean, if they switch it to 84, fine. But I just think if you keep adding more games, the players are going to get, you're going to get frustrated and, we want more money if that's the case. And then all of a sudden disputes come in and whatnot. But if they go with 84, fine. But I think it's absurd. Either keep it the way it is or shorten the season a little bit. That's my opinion. Voldy, what do you think?
I've started to think about this a little bit more. I wish the NHL would take more of an NFL approach when it comes to their schedule. Like, why do the Minnesota Wild need to play the Florida Panthers twice a year? Why does that need to happen? Let's make it a way where you face a certain division or certain teams once every 3-4 years. Like, maybe one year the Central Division plays, the Metropolitan Division. So where the Rangers, the Islanders come to Minnesota, vice versa as well, play them for, basically 3 or 4 games out of your schedule. Meanwhile, the rest of your schedule made up is those divisional opponents where you're playing the Blackhawks 10, 12 times, or you're playing the Winnipeg Jets 2-3 times, maybe make it like a mini series or something like that. You get to a best of 7 out of, Winnipeg and the Wild, and, maybe that potentially leads to a playoff matchup too. I see what they're trying to get at when creating more rivalries, but why do we need to play everybody in the league? If the NFL did that, the NFL would be playing from August all the way to June of next year. And the Super Bowl would literally just be whichever team can put a whole team together by the end of the season too. And if that is the case, I don't understand why 2 more games is a thing. Shorten the preseason, give a little bit more time for your guys to get healthy, because that's another thing too. Once the NHL season ends with the Stanley Cup Finals, even if it is a long run for them, it's like June. It's like late June, July by the time the Stanley Cup Finals are done. Oh, yeah, training camp starts in September. So you literally have like 6 weeks at most from the end of the season into, of course, the next training camp. And the preseason starts like end of September into October. So you get that amount of time. Like, obviously, the preseason doesn't really mean much. Like, honestly, the first 10, 12 games of the season, that should be the preseason itself, and just let it happen from there. At least that's the way the Wild treated it to start off when they're giving up 7 goals a game. But, hey, they've turned that around too. But, yeah, I'd be more about let's make more divisional matchups within your division and schedule 2 or 3 other divisions that normally wouldn't see. So the drawback of that is, even in their prime, you'd see maybe Connor McDavid, you'd see like Sidney Crosby once every 3 or 4 years. But hey,
Sure.
You know what? You want to go see him? You're going to have to pony up the dough with that being also thrown out. And you'd see maybe more of Connor McDavid. Maybe you'd see more of Austin Matthews as well. And maybe you'd only see Alex Ovechkin once every 3 or 4 years, like with Sidney Crosby, too. I just wish the NHL would take that more of an approach, because I would love nothing more to be able to go see the Wild take on Winnipeg in like a home-and-home weekend series or something like that, a Friday-Saturday or a Saturday-Sunday type matchup, or heck, even a Friday, like a Thursday night, Saturday afternoon. You play up in Winnipeg on a Thursday night, and you play Saturday afternoon down at the X. You know that there's going to be people making that drive. I remember multiple times when the Wild played the Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup playoffs as well, Western Conference semifinals. Literally sat down with some guys that drove all the way from Winnipeg that were Chicago fans, and made that trip. And whenever the Winnipeg Jets come to town at the XL Energy Center, there is plenty of Jets fans that make that trip down and certainly enjoy themselves at the X2. Definitely need to see more rivalry matchups with the NHL, but I say it's a little bit absurd. The schedule needs a complete overhaul in my mind.
Fair enough. I'm with you. So don't do it. That's what we'll say. All right, last one, Voldy.
Well, we talked the world of soccer. That's right. We're going to talk soccer here on MinneZona Sports Live because, of course, the World's game finally came to a finish with the World Cup this past Sunday. Argentina defeats France in extra penalty kicks as well after being tied 3-3 in regulation, extra time. It took all the way down to penalties to decide who took home the World Cup trophy, and believe it or not, led by the charge of Lionel Messi, Argentina wins the World Cup. Now, with that being said, the battle, I guess you could call it a battle, but the conversation always between who is the greatest? Is it Cristiano Ronaldo? Is it Lionel Messi? Who is the greatest, soccer player, football player, if you will, of all time? And well, this debate probably going to see a bit of an end here because at the end, Lionel Messi's got a World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo does not. Is it absurd or approved with the World Cup win? Is Lionel Messi the greatest of all time?
Well, this is going to be very short because I did not watch much of the World Cup. I saw the shootout at the end with Papa Callahan, and that was about it. I'm just going to go with the masses. Yeah, I would say so. That's all you hear. With Ronaldo, yeah, people's kind of, put that out there with Ronaldo and whatnot. I don't know. There's like 10 billion other leagues that all these players are in, and it's hard to follow. It's hard to watch, but the game on this past week was very entertaining, especially Argentina being down or being up 2-0 and then giving it back up to the guy's name for France, Mbappe, I think, right?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, and he's a heck of a player too. So there's some, there's going to be some guys that will be playing well. I'm just going to say it. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that Kaká's another guy, Ronaldinho, or if I even said that right, I don't know, Ronaldo, all those guys. Yeah, I would say Messi because everyone talks about Messi. Everyone, he's that good, and yeah, he is. I mean, he's very well known, and with everything that he's done in his career. I mean, I'd say he's the GOAT. He's got the World Cup, and what's going to stop him now? So, yeah, stamp of approval. Foldy, what do you think?
It comes down to simple numbers. Leo Messi's got a World Cup, and you know what? Cristiano Ronaldo could even get to, the semifinals because he had been benched as well with everything he's got going on in his life too. And also to throw on top of it, Leo Messi's now got the most liked posts in Instagram history too. So that's another feather in the camp too, overtaking that picture. I think it was of an egg or something like that. But hey, he's got the most liked posts in all of Instagram. And you know what? He certainly is the greatest in my mind as well. I don't watch enough soccer to tell you why his playing style is better than Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, I'm just going with the masses on this one. Congratulations to him and solidifying his place in the greatest of all time, that spectrum too. But hey, you know what? So be it. He is the GOAT in my mind.
All right, we'll roll with that. So yeah, he's the GOAT. That's all you got to say. Much like with Tom Brady. So that's kind of with American football, we should say. So, all right, great job with ARA this week, Voldy, as per usual. And we got some Shield shoutouts, especially with a birthday. I'm not gonna say who, but you guys would know. And RIP to one of the great, well-known football players of all time too. So let's get it going with some Shield shoutouts.
Shield shoutouts.
All right, Shield, who ya shouting out tonight?
Well, do want to send Shield shout-outs to everybody that did reach out earlier this week and wished me a happy birthday as well. It was nice to have an evening with the family to kick back and enjoy time with them as well. So thank you to everybody that did say happy birthday to me. So certainly do appreciate that as well. And a big thank you to creative consultant Mrs. Sarah Ann Toosvold for facilitating and enabling my addiction to a certain football player by the name of Case Keenum. Now it makes it 3 of the last 4 years that I will have. Well, I don't have in front of me shown and tell. We'll blame the weather. We'll blame the United States Postal Service. But nonetheless, it is in Aiken, I believe.
Oh, good.
It's just not here in my apartment in my lap. It's literally I could yell across the street if it wasn't snowing to say, "Give me my jersey." Yeah. Buffalo Bills Case Keenum jersey. I do have the hat. You got
it looks great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Love it. Fits great. So it'll look good next week. We'll have a we'll wear that. But yes, 3 of the last 4 years I've gotten a Case Keenum jersey for my birthday. Call me crazy. I've got just about everyone. Except for a couple of deep cuts we need to look for. But again, thank you to my lovely wife, Sarah, for the great birthday gifts as well. And unfortunately, we got to finish Shield shout-outs on a bit of a somber note as well. Earlier this morning, finding out that former Steelers running back Franco Harris passed away at the age of 72. Literally days before they were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, passes away. They're going to do it on Saturday against the Raiders because the Immaculate Reception happened against the Raiders. Won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but Franco Harris unfortunately will not be able to attend the festivities for him. I know that the Steelers been wearing the 50th anniversary patch of the Immaculate Reception as well, but unfortunately it will be a somber evening as well. But nonetheless, rest in peace to Franco Harris.
Yes. And, I mean, like you said, that play is going to live on forever. I mean, it's that simple, especially it's iconic. Franco Harris, especially, it was a shock when I woke up this morning because he's been on some NFL stuff that I've really enjoyed, and Papa Callahan has definitely watched him play, especially against the Vikings in the Super Bowl. But we don't talk about that. That's all right. But yes, happy birthday, like we said before. We were doing some stuff. You'll get that Keenum jersey for sure. We were doing something during your birthday, too. So, but I think we're going to wait till we reveal that.
That juicy detail could wait another week.
So, we'll wait on that. But great job with Shield shoutouts as per usual. And, thank you to Double Trouble for coming on. It's always, always, always a pleasure having them on. We had a fantastic time, and who knows, maybe we get them on again here soon. But they're coming for the crown, baby. They're coming for the crown, so it'll be a tight race for best guest coming up here in January. So we got that, and Merry Christmas to everyone, too. Merry Christmas. This will be the last show before we we'll have Christmas, so stay safe. There's a lot of snow coming and whatnot, so Merry Christmas to all the zoners and everyone out there. So Make your picks, too.
Make
I
your
know it's
picks.
still the holiday weekend. Just make your picks. Do it right now. I mean, do it after the show. That's what I'd say to you, too. So make sure you get that done. Check that off your list. But another thing you can check off your list, we've got merch, people. We've got so much merch. We've got stickers. Stickers, $2 for the small ones, $3 for the big ones. They're good. The hats, $20, $5 shipping. Already have one that's going to be sending off here. And we have shirts. We have the black MinneZona shirts, $20, $5 shipping. And still limited edition shirts available. 2 extra larges with the gray. They're fantastic. So make sure you get your shirts then. Thank you to W2 Performance, Will Rattel, www.w2performance.com. Still killing it as always. Shout out to National Fleet Graphic, Crown Rental, Tyler Knutson, Jack's Junkyard. Voldy's wearing the sweatshirt. And make sure you check out the victorious P.O.D. with Ryan Walters and Jack Vickers. I bet it pained Walters on Sunday there. Yep. Division is the Vikings, so
Yes,
he
sir.
is up for absurd statement. So congratulations to Ryan. I don't know if he'll win because we do have another one that's pretty bad too. So
Yeah.
we'll get to
that
that
we do.
in a little bit. So, but that's gonna do it for MinneZona Sports Live tonight, and we will be back next week. And Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And we'll have more content for you guys, and we'll have a lot more fun. So, and as always, remember, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.